Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. And today we're going to be looking at for silky Militian hair. So, hello, this is Developer K. I would like to talk about the process of applying physics-based animation to bring life to the hair of Militians. In the beginning, there was a skeleton, so this is a skeleton of a Militian. The screenshot above is of the skeleton omitted for illustration purposes. In the actual game, more skeletons are used for various movements. Traditional animation techniques for creating character movement include: there's a basic skeleton for the character, and the key animation which moves the skeleton in XYZ direction and adds a key to each frame is common. For example, let's consider the motion called walking. Since the legs must move back and forth, the thigh, calf, foot, and toe bones must be moved to each frame to set the height, left foot, right foot, respectively. Of course, let's move the arms naturally too. Let's set the height by moving the upper arm, forearm, and hand skeletons each frame. For natural movement, the body also needs to be in rhythm. So pelvis, spine, neck, etc. Walking was used as an example, but in Mabinogi, all character movements are performed in the same manner as above. It is a key animation method that holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. The motions of various skills, the motions of actions, etc., all movements. When the above skeleton moves, the attached modeling should also move along with it, right? The work done to achieve this is called rigging and skinning. Connect each vortex of modeling to the skeleton rigging and set the skeleton by giving weights that will be affected by its movement skinning. This allows the attached modeling skin to stretch or shrink when the skeleton moves. Since the basic skeleton of the character is shared, even if the modeling is changed, if the skinning is done properly, the animation operates normally. So hair animation, let's take an example of a ponytail. It is said that animation must be added to the ponytail hair with all key animation data created based on the basic skeleton described above. First, we need to add a skeleton for the ponytail for movement to the basic skeleton. So here you can see the picture for an example. Now all you have to do is add a key for the movement of the additional skeleton for the ponytail to the animations you previously created for character movement. In all character animations, 13,586, the key of the skeleton added for the ponytail must be adjusted step by step. So here's all the steps. As the hair bones continue to be added to the base bone, rigging and skinning problems also arise. So, separation of the hair skeleton. Before something like the above becomes difficult just by imagining it, let's separate the hair skeleton from the basic skeleton. Leave the existing basic skeleton and animation data as is and create a separate skeleton for the hair. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Let's create a separate hair skeleton like this and create a separate animation for the ponytail that will run simultaneously with the existing animation. At this time, When the walking animation of the basic skeleton is executed, the walking animation of the ponytail skeleton is also executed at the same time. The animation operates separately on the two skeletons, but the result looks like one movement. Of course, for this it is necessary to adjust the frame length of both animations and keep adjusting them based on the basic skeleton animation so that the hair does not stick out too much. Separating the skeleton only solves problems in the rigging and skinning process compared to adding a hair skeleton to the basic skeleton. The process for creating a key animation corresponding to all existing animations is the same. Currently, in the case of moving wigs and hair Mabinogi, the skeleton is separated for each hair mesh and a key animation is created and applied in response to the motion applied to the existing basic skeleton. Physics-based animation. What is physics animation? As physical properties such as mass, inertia, damping, and elasticity. This refers to animation that is simulated to produce results similar to everyday physical phenomena. In short, if you set various conditions, movement is automatically created according to the physical phenomena. If you just listen to the exclamation, there is no need to specify the position for the skeleton for each frame like in the existing key animation. It sounds like a technology that naturally and automatically simulates the position of the skeleton. In reality, there are many things to consider in order to express natural movement. Let's use the ponytail as an example again. Even in motion, in place, in motion that moves and runs, or in motion with high acceleration, the simulation should come out not moving as if it's bouncing too much, right? In small movements, there is little response to external factors, so it is difficult to express the ponytail's movements in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions can make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjustments to the magnitude and direction of the motion are required. Nevertheless, there are cases where it is not possible to satisfy both extreme situations of small motion and large motion. Initial physics-based animation test appearance, so that's this here. So 1, no physical animation, and 2, small physical animation movement, and 3, large physical animation movement. So you can see here how the hair isn't moving at all when the character moves, and you can see here how it's moving a little bit when the character moves, and in 3 you can see how the hair is moving a lot when the character moves. For the flowing Malaysian hair, the key animation and physics-based animation introduced above are all research and development processes for the flowing Malaysian hair. In addition, there are various contents such as combination of key animation and physics-based animation, retargeting system, etc. We will cover related content in the next costume animation, the 4-pointed skirt we will cover related content in the next costume animation. The 4-pointed skirt is actually... As the journey of the Mabinogi Eternity project continues, Malaysian's hair will become even more luscious. Okay, so this is good. So they are working on hair movement in this part of the update. Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity section on the Korean website. So the 4-point skirt is actually So we develop with Unreal Engine, so of course the skirt will naturally flow, right? This time we will focus on expressing natural movement in costume animation, especially skirt-shaped costumes. Let me introduce you to the animation-related R&D process. Let's briefly recall the key animation and rigging and skinning introduced in the hair animation section. Key animation holds the key by moving the position of the skeleton for each frame. Rigging and skinning connect each vertex of the modeling to the skeleton rigging and give the skeleton a weight to be affected by its movement. Skinning. 4-point skirt, not bulletproof. Taking the popo skirt as an example, the skirt hem of the popo skirt is rigged and skinned to the leg bones, so when the legs move due to the key animation, the attached skirt moves together. So what should I do to make the skirt part of the 4-point skirt move separately? You just need to create an additional skeleton to move the skirt and set a separate key animation. Volitions who have seen the hair animation process will have already noticed, but there is a problem. So they're just saying the same, they're just using the hair example here. If this continues, the skeleton will continue to proliferate as each costume has a different shape. However, this is a problem I have already experienced once with hair animation. Just apply the same solution as hair animation. So, cloth simulation. It is a type of physics-based animation that was previously introduced in hair animation. It refers to a technology that imitates the motion of flexible materials such as clothing or fabric. What makes hair animation different from physically based animation is that cloth simulation movements do not require a skeleton. Of course, since physical calculations are performed at the vertex level instead, it is bound to be heavy in terms of performance. What if we combined Mabinogi with cloth simulation, which is excellent for expressing the smooth movement of fabric? I started applying the cloth simulation by imagining the possum skirt I was wearing swaying in the air every time I walked. The problem is form. A problem occurred during testing with various types of skirts: short skirt, long skirt, wide skirt, narrow skirt. By rigging and skinning, there are no parts that can be stretched beyond the original form of the modeling. As physics calculations were performed at the vertex level, side effects occurred, such as legs going through the skirt or the bottom of the skirt being rolled up. Of course, there is room for improvement by setting additional physical properties and increasing the amount of computation. It was difficult to expect natural movement in long and narrow skirts. If you attach a skeleton as before, rig it, skin it, and then use the key animation to move it, the mesh will stretch beyond its existing shape. The movement of the flowing skirt that was initially thought is moving further away. Physics simulation again. As applied in previous hair, a separate skeleton for the skirt was created, separated from the basic skeleton, and attached to the skeleton for the skirt. A method of applying physics simulation was introduced. The basic skeleton of the character is used to control the character's movement. This skeleton determines the overall movement of the character and handles the basic animations such as walking, running, jumping, etc. The skeleton for the skirt is responsible for simulating the physics of the skirt parts, used to represent the movement of the skirt more realistically. Physics-based animation calculates the movement of the skirt by considering physical factors such as gravity, air resistance, and external interference. Of For example, when a character moves quickly, the effect of a skirt blowing in the wind is physically simulated. The physical effects make the game character's motion feel more lifelike and realistic. By combining these two separate skeletal systems, the overall movement of the character utilizes traditional animation techniques, while the movement of one particular part, the skirt, is expressed more naturally through physics-based form. However, there were problems with applying physics-based animation. In small movements, there is less response to external factors. The movement of the skirt is difficult to express in detail. On the other hand, with large movements, acceleration or collisions make the simulation unstable, causing the movement to appear inaccurate. To respond to these problems, it is necessary to adjust the parameters of the physics simulation or adjust the size and direction of motion. There were limits to the physical simulation results appearing natural in all movements. Combination of key animation and physics simulation. To solve the problem, key animation was applied to the skeleton at the beginning of the chain in the chain-shaped skirt skeleton. This ensures that movement at the top of the skirt is reliably controlled by key animation. We apply physics-based animation to the remaining bones of the skirt, propagating physical movement based on the key animation movement of the top bone. Through this, it has become a form that can satisfy both stability in large motions and movement in small motions. The problem is that you need to separate the skeletons for all skirt-shaped meshes and set key animations for each skeleton for each mesh. To solve this, we used Unreal's retargeting function. Utilize retargeting system. To increase efficiency, add a skirt bone to the basic torso skeleton. Using this, we used Unreal's retargeting system in the process of applying key animation to the top bone of the skirt. Add the skirt's armature to the main torso armature. This integrates the skirt and bodice bones into one frame. Apply key animation to the skirt bone added to the basic torso bone. The animation will control the movement of the top part of the skirt. Using Unreal's retargeting system, skirts of various shapes, long skirts, short skirts, skirts with one side long, skirts with different waistlines, starting points, allows you to correspond to the movements of the basic torso skeleton. Through this, the movement of the upper part of the skirt is moved by the key animation of the skirt bone of the basic torso skeleton, and the remaining parts are moved by the animation key of the skirt bone of the basic body skeleton. Each skirt is moved by a physics simulation of the skeleton connected to the mesh. Using a retargeting system, we efficiently integrate the structure of the existing torso skeleton and the newly added skirt bone. It was effective in combining animations for various parts by flexibly constructing the character's skeleton. So you can see in this image here, retargeting results. Light blue basic skeleton, blue skirt mesh skeleton. Okay, so yeah, the light blue here is like the basic skeleton, and then the dark blue here, the normal blue, is the skirt mesh skeleton. We may not be satisfied with all forms, but we will find the answer. As always, below is a temporary modeling resource for testing that was used in the early R&D process. Key animation, torso skeleton plus upper skirt skeleton, physical animation, skirt lower skeleton combination result. So here you can see those images. The 4-point skirt was actually a skirt that moved in the air. All of the content introduced above was a process to express the natural movement of the 4-point skirt. Although cloth animation has not been applied to cloth skirts, research is underway to apply it to cloaks and certain types of mesh. In addition, various research is underway to improve the natural motion of clothing using a new engine. Okay, so we'll be looking at another part of the Mabinogi Eternity post on the Korean site. So, art technician, character creation. As with most game development projects, the Mabinogi Eternity project was especially in dire need of professional technicians in each field. How are existing art resources rendered within the engine? What should I do to bring this to the new engine? There are always many different types of costumes and hair in Mabinogi. What should I do to make this movement more natural? I really wanted to do it when I went to the new engine, but is it possible to express all the things that could not be expressed due to the wall of an old engine? Because we needed people to give us answers to all of this, generally the problem is solved through collaboration between artists and programmers. In order to develop more quickly and reliably, we had to reduce the depth of communication. So we quickly began recruiting experts, art technicians with technical knowledge and experience, and artists in various fields such as character and background models, animation effects, and UI. We hired a technical artist to handle graphics within the new engine, such as shader development and optimization. When it comes to shader porting, shouldn't we just look at the code and import it? It is certainly true that you can look at the code, understand its structure, and import it in a form suitable for Unreal Engine, but the problem was that the code was very fragmented. Of course, just looking at the resource structure and final rendering result, I could see how the shader was built. But what was important to us was not analogy, but accurate calculation. Even if the calculation is slightly wrong, a completely different result will be output. I recreated the art resource production process and began to analyze the database and rendering related codes one by one. I was able to piece together all the meaningful information one by one. As a result, and we have this video here, so this is the result. Neo uploaded to Unreal Engine to commemorate the success of Pleon shader porting. But it doesn't end here. As I was enjoying the joy of completing a successful shader port, I heard countless voices. So, when we get the light, it starts to sparkle, right? We can just set up the light when we take a screenshot, right? Right now, some outlines come out and some don't. Is everything coming out now? The color of the outline is also just showing off the dye color. My hair is sticking out through my clothes. Are you going to fix this too? Is my hair blowing in the wind now? Of course, it was just the beginning. What was fortunate, though, was that we had invited experts in each field. Please allow character shaders to respond to various light sources. You may be wondering how obvious this is. When using Unreal Engine, it is natural for 3D models to react to various light sources. The Eternity project inherits the flat yet unique colors of the current Mabinogi, while at the same time, the goal is to be able to interact with the variety of light sources. However, it is difficult to achieve both purposes simultaneously with the basic shading model provided by Unreal Engine. We created a custom shading model by modifying the engine code. By removing the fine surface bidirectional distribution function and modifying it to adjust the amount and color of light hitting the surface, a cartoon-like expression is possible. It was tuned to be affected by various fixed and dynamic light sources and provided to character shader creators. Simply put, if you only use the basic shading model provided by Unreal, you can lose Mabinogi's unique style with truly realistic light expressions. Unable to react to different light sources or only see the results of one or the other. There are many different solutions to this, but we chose to create a shading model unique to Mabinogi. And here you can see the default lit and the unlit. Good, now draw the outline too. Because the outline can give a completely different impression depending on its presence or absence, it is an element that can visually separate the background and the character. This is an element that would be disappointing if it were left out in a cartoon-style shader. As such, research is being conducted in a variety of ways. In the case of Mabinogi, a very thin outline is used. Due to engine limitations, it may be missing in areas where application is difficult due to translucent objects or some compatibility issues. There are many side effects, so all of these had to be resolved in the new engine. There are several ways to handle outlines. We tried many different things to find a method that suited Mabinogi's needs. In order to create a sensuous outline in a Mabinogi style while reducing man-hours costs, we chose the scene depth processing method, rather than simply transplanting the existing feeling, so that the color of the clothes shines through, so that the lines remain constant even when the distance increases, so that the lines disappear as the distance increases. To draw or not draw certain parts, to draw lines in translucent materials, etc., we encountered and dealt with a variety of issues. I was proud of the process of mixing and applying non-open technologies and working with character artists. As an 8-year Militian who is still working hard at Mabinogi, I was really happy to hear the news about the engine replacement. So what about the dislocated shoulder? Are all the clothes and hair moving now? In fact, after the decision to replace Unreal Engine, shoulder dislocation was one of the most heard stories. I too was eagerly hoping for this as a Militian before becoming a developer. The programmers and animation technicians put a lot of effort into this part. In the existing Mabinogi, there were insufficient examples such as shoulder dislocation. There were many shortcomings such as polygons breaking when the character moved. At Eternity, we aimed to look as natural as possible in shoulders, hips, etc. And unlike the existing Mabinogi, many bones were added to express the detailed parts of fingers. Additionally, additional bones have been set to make customization more natural. With so many bones added, it is difficult to simply port existing Mabinogi animation files. Based on the existing Mabinogi animation, additional parts such as the fingers are being worked on step by step, and the costumes are also very diverse. In a typical MMORPG projector, the bones are often set and the costume design is designed to match the position of the bones. Since Mabinogi's costumes were already available in various designs, it was necessary to match the costume to patterns. It is not possible to plant infinite bones, and it is difficult to animate or control a large number of bones one by one. Many experts are working hard to successfully replace the Mabinogi engine. Of course, there is still much left to do. A core part of the technical art issue has been dealt with, but in addition, there are countless elements that enrich Mabinogi, such as expressions of materials. We will do our best until the Mabinogi engine replacement is successful, and of course, we will continue to do so thereafter. There we go. Had to load up Xanafiedlion there. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. We're getting a little bit of a late start, but we're just gonna do a couple of dailies. All the big stuff happens next week. Alright, let's start with this Idia Expedition event. Gotta do the daily for that. How many points do I have now? Like 8k? Oh, we have 10k. Nice. That was worth a lot of points. Oh, another one. But pretty early on, already got a lot of points. I do have a lot of points. I could retreat now if I talk to the Commerce Simp, but that's a lot of health left, so I'm gonna keep going. We're not gonna use the imp. Having pretty good luck this round. Oh, that's a big one. I think the imp is gone now anyway, the commerce one. Yeah. Well, that's okay. We'll lose a little bit of points if we die out here, but not a lot. Just coins that time. Red ancient records. Nice. Let's go this way. More coins. Gotta make sure we have room for everything. Oops. Oh, what luck, there's a commerce imp like right there. Well, fine. Who cares about the mushroom then? Oh, if this is the ghost with the love riddle, that would be perfect, because I could get a lot of points for that. Coins. Yes, it is. Wow. Awesome. We have almost 5,000 points. I think I should retreat here, probably. Not sure how many points I get for leaving now. But like, this expires in 3 minutes. Well, almost 4 minutes. Assuming I can... I'll probably die before that, though. I don't know. Is there anything else close to the imp? I can't go too far away from him or he'll vanish. No, this is good. We'll retreat here. $7,750, so not quite enough to get 10k points in a single run, but honestly, this is the furthest I've ever gotten. Consumed summons a random NPC, that's worth it. What does this do? Recover HP, and temperature. Okay, so I want the exploration artifact, Shaman's Gesture, and the 77 coins, because those are all worth 1 point each, so... We had really good luck that round. And have 18,000 points. Let's claim the rewards. I'm gonna save those rebirth pots when the new Arcana come out, since they don't expire. Unfortunately, these fruit expire, so I have to use them up. This one doesn't, though. I'll save this one for when the Arcana comes out as well. That's when my level ups are really gonna matter. Shadow Crystal. 12 days on that. I don't know how many days away the Arcana are. But assuming maybe early December, that thing will probably expire before they're released. Oh, and let's help out my spirit weapon here. And yeah, let's use up these. Why not? It'll be enough to push his bonds to 100. That's still not quite there. 99.27. Oh good, made some gold off that. And what was the spirit gem again? Oh right, and I need to claim those too. So 11 points. I need 7 to take up this one and 9 to take up this one. Let's just max that out. And then I'm going to save up for this ultimate next. Alright, let's go find out what the veteran dungeon is. And what do we have for data missions? Defensive battle and Sulfur Spider. Not too bad. I'll probably do Sulfur Spider. Okay, Field Dungeon for the veteran one. I wonder if I can get to the Tara Shadow Altar and use that Shadow Mission Pass before it expires in a minute. Not that it matters, I can get as many passes as I want on Fridays, but I'm gonna try and beat the time limit on this one. Hey, it works. I guess I'll do the Shadow Mission first then, since we're already here. Can use those large nails for my daily import cob. Oops, that almost got too close. Still pretty effective though. Oh good, I was worried I was gonna get him too, but I didn't. Oops. Set it up right where they're spawning. Alright, done with all those guys. And time for the boss. I guess we're about to get a refresh on our skills anyway, so I'll use Meteor here. Got most of his health. And done. Oh, there's one more there. Let's go find out what the normal daily dungeon is, and then we'll go take care of those. Rundle dungeon. Okay.
또 러브레터네?
Let's go do the veteran dungeon first. Because then if unlimited veteran Foamer Pass drops from it, then I can do Rundle and veteran too. I'm actually gonna let some of the enemies hit me a bit because I need to get more proficiency on that armor. I think it'll go faster if I let them attack me a little bit. Hang on, where are we at right now? 51.35%. Like 40. Yeah, that's slowly going up. Good. So I'm not gonna make as much of an effort to like block or counter. Just gonna let them attack me. Okay, I just had to check something real quick. Let's continue. Oh, that was a lucky guess there. Sammy11, welcome to the stream. It's going pretty good today, just doing some dungeon runs. All the fun stuff happens next week. I guess it's good all these monsters are swarming here because it's good for my efficiency on my armor. How high is that now? Yeah, it's slowly going up. The stream's going pretty good so far, I think. Mostly just doing event stuff and dailies today. This chest thing to pull in, this must be one for Q. And time for the boss. So it should just be some flying swords and a golem. Yeah, nothing to really worry about. Oh, whoops, I did not want to attract the attention of the golem yet. Oh, great, increase escape field. Let's go ahead and get somewhere safe for a second, and then oh good, look, we're 1% away from that boost. That's really important. That's gonna give us an extra... Oh crap. Oh, you weren't supposed to attack? Darn. I would have been able to get an extra meteor and if he wouldn't have done that. Oh well. I guess 3 is good enough. And for the actual, like, fight against the golem, it'd probably be better to use magic with Dark Diviner instead of Battle Astrologer. Because magic allows me to keep a little bit more distance. Although I'm doing a bad job keeping my distance from him right now. The general idea is I can just keep him locked down with thunder and attack with Thunderblight. Lowers defense and protection with cats. That's gonna cause a big HP drop. Oh, he got like stuck in that wall or some crap. Okay, fine, use that. Okay, are you on the side of the wall? Are you on there? There we go. I guess it's good that he's attacking me because, again, that's good for the proficiency for my armor. The more I get hit. Because now my armor has, well, almost 60% proficiency. I think I need like 80 for the next upgrade that I want. Spirit gems, reforged tools. Actually, those reforged tools are being removed next week. Sell this, we can get a lot of gold for it. And then we can sell that. That. I think that's just about everything I want to get rid of. I think so. Okay, so we can get into hard mode advanced Rundle dungeon for the normal daily. Probably just gonna use Thunderblight for most of this dungeon.
Bye.
And time for the boss. He's pretty tough to survive 3 meteors. I mean, it makes sense if this is a veteran dungeon, but no, this is hard mode advanced. There we go. Oh, at least that hat sells for more gold than I thought it would. Let's go stop by Bangor. I forget if it's... Oh wait, I don't want to go that way. I forget if I need 60 or 80 proficiency to upgrade this. I think it was 80. But doesn't hurt to double check.
우리 입이 못 살게 굴기만 해봐.
Yeah, 80, because I want to get this one.
운동되는 젊은이들이 많구만. 문제야.
Alright, I think we'll wrap things up right around here for today, so short stream today. But next week is when all the big updates come out, so we'll be doing longer streams after the dungeon rework and the Arcana and all that. So that's probably gonna fill up the server.